Breaking news, a recorded phone call now places Brian in the water at the time of Lynette's disappearance. After Lynette disappeared, Brian called a friend and fellow boater and explained the situation. The friend recorded that conversation in hopes of keeping the information so they could locate Lynette. It was during that phone call Brian actually places himself in the water. He said, quote, "I mean, she's a regular swimmer, not like an athlete or anything, but she's fucking determined. And she was hit with a flare pistol. I had slid down one of the sponsons down towards the stern of the dinghy." A sponson is this white part of the outside of the boat. He then claims he took a bunch of waves over the dinghy and had to bail water out multiple times. He said he also had to bail out the cockpit, which the inside got wet. He then goes on to state that the dinghy key was not attached to him and that he and Lynette were, quote, fucking around trying to get back into the boat. However, during that same call, Brian on multiple instances says he was inside of the boat. Here is the statement that places him inside of the boat. Quote, "The waves were 3 feet and I was trying to shift the oars and one of the pins on the oars broke and that fucking dropped over the side. And I was yelling at her the whole time and I yelled to her that I lost an oar but threw the anchor out." He says after he anchored the dinghy, he yelled some more and could not hear her. He then claims he believes he threw a flotation device to Lynette twice. However, he says he could not tell if she got it or not. A professor of maritime law at the University of Houston Law Center says this. He said Brian's story is, quote, "inconsistent and getting more damning by the minute. He's saying they were in the water, but at the same time, he says he's bailing. And at that time, she's quickly and immediately taken away from him by the wind. Everything about this is inconsistent. He's telling 5 different stories and none of them are consistent, so it's as if he's just making stuff up as he goes along." Which anyone involved in the case already knew that. The U.S. Coast Guard traveled to the Bahamas last week in order to search for Lynette. They were looking into an area of water that is about 25 feet deep that Brian never stated they were at. However, they have not said if their results yielded anything. The U.S. Coast Guard is also in possession of their sailboat Soulmate as well as the dinghy. The U.S. Coast Guard was able to retrieve that from the Bahamian officials. At this time, Brian has not been charged with a crime. To stay up to date on this case, make sure you click the playlist below. I'll keep you guys updated. What do you think? Drop in the comments.